Hi, this is Acme with the US stock highlights here on Share Talk for Tuesday, the 16th of March. Starting off with ANCN Therapeutics, which has done well after recent coverage here and the gap to the upside earlier in the month. Another gap to the upside today. And while we're above yesterday's intraday high at $4.64 on an end-of-day close basis, looking for a retest of the $10 area, last month's resistance over the next 2 to 4 weeks. Want to tighten up the stop loss, maybe an end-of-day close back below today's initial low at 484, but 481 rather, but not really much point in taking that risk, it would appear. On to another stock which is doing well at the moment, BIOX Crop Solutions. And here we've got a situation where we've broken a former old neckline resistance from back in 2018. That was around the $10.50 area, and while we're above $10.50, we're looking to not only retrace the best levels of the day up to $17.94, but also up towards that resistance line projection from April 2019 as high as $24, and that could be seen over the next 1 to 2 months. Onto a stock which is certainly a meme, one of the meme favorites at the moment, Churchill Capital. Here we've had a rather drastic retracement from the best levels of last month, but nice neckline break there. Neckline at that point earlier in the month around $27.26, and above that on an end-of-day close in the wake of today's gap to the upside. And we're looking to hit at least the floor of the gap down at $43.94 over the next 4 to 6 weeks. Any dips in the meantime back towards yesterday's resistance zone at $28.80 regarded as a potential buy on the dip opportunity, but looking bullish at least while we're above the $27 area. Moving along to a stock which is not quite so high profile but may do the honors eventually or in the near future. Here we've got Enzo Biochem, and here another gap through resistance. In this case it was through February resistance at $3.59, and above that on an end-of-day close basis, looking to the top of a rising trend channel from back in August last year, as high as $5.50 plus, and that could be seen as soon as the end of this month, perhaps, if not the end of next month. Moving along to another bullish contender. This time it comes in the form of fintech acquisition, and here we've had a massive gap to the upside. Not much charting data, but sometimes that is a help, at least while there's no end-of-day close back below today's initial support at $12.17. We're looking to the top of that rising trend channel at $15.50. Notional trend channel there, so it's a bit of a guess in terms of where that upper parallel is, but above the $12 area, looking for $15 plus. At least that can be said at this stage. Next stock is one that I don't think is that familiar here, but ISUN. Here we've broken or gapped through a line of resistance from January. That was nominally around $13.80. Looking for an end-of-day close today above the 50-day moving average at $16.80. And if we can get that, then probably we can retest the high of last month, and that was at $23.98 as soon as the end of next month, i.e. the end of April. But let's just see if we can get that end-of-day close through $16.80 either today or later this week. Bigger stock now, one which is rather famous, let's say, compared to many of the other stocks mentioned today. Micron Technology gapping through the initial or the mid-March resistance around the $90.20 level, and above that on an end-of-day close basis, looking towards the top of a rising August trend channel from last year, as high as $113 rather, and that could be seen as soon as the end of next month. Confidence in that time frame backed by the latest gap to the upside. If you're looking for the stop loss there, probably $89, just around yesterday's high on an end-of-day close basis would do the trick, but ideally there's no break back below $90 on a sustained basis, which is today's support zone. Moving along to NEOS, which is the code of this next stock, and here we've got NEOS Therapeutics. Here we've broken through the 50-day moving average area at 88 cents. Above that, and we're looking to the top of the rising trend channel from October, as high as $1.60 over the next month to 6 weeks. So take that to the end of April. On to a stock which is not very familiar, maybe the first appearance here, actually, SVRA. Here we've had a massive spike, but we can have an end-of-day close back above, or at least above, the initial February resistance around $2.10. We're still in the game for a move towards $4 or $4.50, which is the top of a rising trend channel from February last year. The gap higher, really the signal there on that particular situation. Just a few to go now. First one is Sunlink Health Systems. Here you can see that shares gapped up through resistance, one of our favorite setups there at $3.30, and above that looking towards the top of the rising trend channel from March last year, as high as $9 by the end of next month. It might obviously be sooner given the way the shares are moving at the moment. Onto a stock which is also giving the bulls something to talk about. Another gap through resistance. In this case, it was last month's $2.35 level. Above that on an end-of-day close basis, and we're looking towards the top of a January trend channel, i.e. a revisit of today's high at $3.86 over the next 2 to 4 weeks. Any dips towards the $2.50 area are currently regarded as a buying opportunity. Just a couple to go now. First one is coming up in the form of Intelligent. Here you can see that we've had a decent base building exercise, decent base building process over recent months. Probably all you want to see now is an end of day close above the 50-day moving average at 99 cents to give us a retest of last month's resistance through $1.50. Hopefully that would happen by the end of next month. Stop loss back below 80 cents at the moment, which is that lower parallel, the floor of a rising September trend channel. Finishing off with ZDGE, where you can see that shares have been have gapped up today through the initial March resistance. That was at $12.49, and while there's no end of day close back below that, we're looking towards as high as $18 by the end of next month at the top of the broadening October triangle. And that it looks like a pretty strong setup, especially given the way that we were backed as far as March's price action by the 50-day moving average, currently around the $9.30 area. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.